video message from Pooyan Fatemi, who works on new energies and a recycling technology. And he specifically talks about new methods of recycling management, trash management. I want to thank I want to thank all those who are watching this, and thank the NGO Südwind that has helped this event happen. I am Pooyan Fatemi. About this, because of the need that was felt and the crisis that has happened on many environmental issues in Iran and existed as a serious crisis, we have done a lot of studies so that maybe we can create better conditions so that we can transport knowledge and technology and change these conditions of crisis and decrease them and find the strategies and solutions to solve this crisis in the country. Let me say that in the plan that is out there now, we will talk about the trash and about the recycling of the trash and the accumulation of whether personal or industrial trash. And then there's that atomic waste and the hospital waste, but I don't have the time to really talk about this. Let me tell you that because of the limitation of where we live, every place of living has its limitations. There should always be a special look at this. What are the conditions to save the conditions of environmental and healthy living? About the burial of extra material, there is so much self-refining that you can do. When the volume goes up, the earth is not able to degrade. They should surely give a negative reaction to the extra use of these extra things. I'm gonna divide this talk about to the home waste and industrial waste, and especially the industrial waste part I'll talk about both statistical and clearly. The industrial and the mining waste and the petrochemical waste. More than 75,000 kinds of different types of chemicals, adding of more than 500 every year. Their management of their waste has been faced with challenges because of this. The first initial reviews show that a authoritative management doesn't exist where this trash is produced. and the how to do recycling or depoisoning is not even considered in the industrial complexes. And this at the outset it creates the biggest problem, because we can speak about the burial of this or how to get rid of them. There should be some studies from the beginning, laws created, structures created based on education and media work. But whether it is the burial of industrial or home waste, this needs knowledge and this needs introduction. And authoritative bodies should be doing this. There are many researches done in Iran in these industrial complexes about the burial of this waste. The result of these lab tests show that the heavy metals carry very heavy metals. In order to prevent and reduce the damaging effects, environmental effects of this industrial waste or the dangerous industrial waste, surely some ways exist that can be considered in different stages, whether it's qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative is the refining and the recycling and the burial stages that need to be considered. Speaking of the burial, there are a few different stages that need to be considered separately. In the production stage, does either place exist for the burial of this industrial waste, or it doesn't? I.e., each factory works on its own, or just works directly. The place of the complex itself needs a specific plan to refine this waste and to reduce their poisonousness and to depoison them, bring down the poison. And then how it is transferred also needs to be discussed. Either by containers and trucks, or by train, or by ship, if they are being sent to a specific place for industrial waste, so that this is done safe and done by experts. And at the end, where the burial happens, all those health regulations need to be considered. Even how to keep these waste after should be considered. In different periods, there are tests done on the waterways that are near the place that burial happens, and on its dust, and on its air. This is to consider the conditions after the burial to see whether environmental consequences have followed or not. Speaking about the industrial waste, some work has been happening in industrial complexes. This research is mostly about industrial provinces like Isfahan, Iraq, and Hamadan. When you review this, you will see that some things are more than others, like ashes, like dust, like machinery, extra machinery, the tiles, the housing material, and the lowest thing was batteries. Batteries and always is an important part of the waste, especially in metal waste. But usually the industrial factories, because they sell their metal, they face the lowest metal waste. I should tell you that there is an international statistics on a world level of industrial waste. We see that the children aged between 1 to 10, especially those who live on the margins of the cities, they are found to see that the main reason is that there is not a correct understanding of the industrial waste or dangerous industrial waste. It had through their skin, it has gotten to these children, and they have gotten many problems, serious blood infections, or skin infections, or even cancer. On the same issue, I want to speak about the benefits of recycling and the management of waste on just a couple of points. So we can also talk about the home waste. The managing of the recycling has many points, but let me focus on a couple points that are very useful. One is the reduction of many types of waste that will stop using waste of thousands of acreage of agricultural fields that became unusable because of this. The other one is to try to put back the using material to this recycling to the production period. Keeping the environment, guarding the environment, bringing down the transportation costs and their burial. And the sixth, drastic reduction, maybe even 90% in the energy used in producing on things that are produced from the beginning to the end. And it is the recycling of this that leads to prevention of unnecessary production. Let me just also cursorily point to the industrial waste. Based on the current situation, ethnically and industrially and management-wise in Iran, unfortunately, you can say it's a solution. A is the creating of a place with proper laws and a completely clear structure to bury this industrial waste. Relevant authorities need to give writing as to this and to make sure to carry it through. And then there is the question of education and how this knowledge is given to provincial centers by the Environment Organization and the Mines Organization in Iran. But one of the important issues is that this up-to-date technology in Iran for recycling and it is only recently that we have heard some news that say that this international knowledge should be used. I am hopeful that we can do this, that we can use the updated technology in other countries. The other points that we wanted to talk about is the home waste and the damaging effects that they can also have on the environment. Well, home waste, I'm sure mostly people know them. They know the trash that they bury every day. They know how it is. Is there a culture in Iran to take care of this from the beginning? Does the city authorities have the relevant mechanisms for this, for separation and management of such waste, and to manage this trash, so that things like the burial, accumulation or deposition of trashes in kahris that could be prevented? Tons of trash have been accumulated, creating a mountain for kilometers. You see a disgusting smell. The wastewater that come are very poisonous. They destroy entire fields, and they transfer this to the subterranean waters. The gannats, including, and the other waterways that are subterranean. Apart from that, workers who are either drivers working behind heavy loaders, or the workers who practically are working to separate them, they all face an important problem. Many of them have wanted and they have gotten cancer. This accumulation that, based on the mayor of Tehran had said that this is the black gold that they want to use and give it back to the people. But these conditions have not been created. This technology has not been used yet. It's intensifying the situation day by day, not only in Kahrizak, but in points all over the country, in coastal provinces, places where people go either for joy or for traveling. Mountains of tons of trash are created, and when they become a place for depot, construction waste and industrial waste are also buried in the same place. Now, either in a normal way or in an illegal way.